judge me. For that, at least. So, I did not expect to record tonight. I did not expect to record. So, you have just me, not in my usual flannel. I have a Beavis and Butthead t-shirt on. Classic. It's my weekend off of work, and I was editing part 2 of 1 year of fatherhood. And that part is a soft-spoken, not whisper ramble. I cannot talk. Soft-spoken of reading my daughter's birth story. And I had thought that that video would have less ums and uhs than the ramble because I was reading and I would not need to pause and think so much. Well, I was wrong. I'm only like 5 minutes in to like a 40-minute video, and I have had to either cut out or just cut out the audio part of so many ums and uhs. It's very tedious work, and I don't feel like I'm in a tedious mood. I feel like I want to do karaoke, but I can't do that right now. It's been a couple years since I've done karaoke. is about work. I've had several glasses of wine. Well, not several. A few. I got the cheapest bottles of wine. If you've listened to my previous videos from the winter cabin that my family usually goes to. Wait, that's a different wine-related story. Anyway, the cheap wine that I usually go to, the vintage changed, the year changed, it is not as good, so I've been trying to find another cheap wine that I can just buy and not feel bad about spending money. It's been a challenge. I'm trying to stay at $7. $7. So, at work, I work at a grocery store. I knew my weekend was coming up and I wanted to relax, so I also wanted to find the cheapest, well, not cheapest, wanted to find a cheap wine that could perhaps become my go-to wine, just for everyday, not everyday drinking, just casual drinking. So I did end up getting pretty much the two cheapest Cabernet Sauvignons. $4.49 and $4.99, I believe. I got two different bottles. The first bottle was pretty decent, better than any boxed wine I've had. But not as good as my last go-to wine. I did just pour myself a glass of the other bottle I bought. I have not tasted it yet, so I'll taste that right now, and then I'll get to the work. I'll get to the work after that. Oh, I lost my glass for a second. Already, this does not smell like wine. This just smells like mustiness. Okay, I'm ready to be disappointed. Okay, that starts off with a bit of nothingness. Some nothingness on the nose, and then the aftertaste is lingering garbage. That's not good. I'm not looking forward to drinking that. That's unfortunate. But I'll drink it. Anyway, work. Because of course, to relax as an ASMR video, you want supposed to bring people up and not be in position A, which is just out front for all the customers to see. Depending on who's in charge, you're either supposed to be in position A, or you're supposed to be in the check stand, ringing people up to make sure you are in compliance with the lines. Well, inconsistent already. Also, there's a computer that schedules, or that tells the manager how many cashiers they will need at a given time. So it's every 15 minutes. And it tells them how many cashiers is forecasted as being needed. And pretty much always, they do schedule the absolute minimum. The company gives the minimum. And that doesn't even account for times where people need to have a break. So there could be several cashiers. Each one of these hand gestures is a cashier. And their shift, goes, and in general, it staggers. Well, I think it's backwards for you, so think of a diagonal line. Each coming on cashier is scheduled a little bit later. Yeah. And so each one of their breaks is a little bit later than the previous one. The computer doesn't account for people needing a break. So when they schedule the minimum amount of people, we're actually down a person. Because after a certain point, there's always someone on break. When I hit record, this was not even this story I was going to talk about. Anyway, they are consistently always understaffing. It's been a problem for years. That is the point of this intro. Oh, fuck. I've been talking 18 minutes and haven't even gotten to the point. Okay. I'm gonna restart the camera. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I've been there for years, and this has been a problem since forever. Understaffing. And I've asked, why can't we have more cashiers? Why can't you schedule better? It's a consistent problem. We need to be at 85% compliance of one person being rung up, one person in line. We need to be like that 85% of the time or more. But actually, not more than 92% of the time. Because if you're succeeding too much, you're failing. Logic. So, when you fail so consistently, surely there's a problem. But according to the company, the problem is you. See, for every item in the store, there is a set amount of time that the company has deemed is appropriate for the time between you scanning it and you putting it in the bag. So there's a certain amount of time between you scanning this item and you scanning the next item. The company has decided what is the correct amount of time. grocery and our pickup service and our meat and seafood department and our bakery, basically anywhere. Even though that's not our job, and they still schedule the minimum people in our department too. And yet we still have to keep certain standards and get everything done even with less than the minimum amount of people to do it. So we just look like we accomplished the standards, even when we pretend. So finally, one of my bosses, one of the many bosses, sends an email saying, going forward, the closing PIC needs to check this area for returns. And it was in another department. So if I had had time, if I had had people scheduled, I could have finished all of our real tasks and then gone and done more stuff like this thing. So I responded in the email. Going forward, we need to ensure that the front end is scheduled the proper amount of people so that we can get our tasks done. One sentence email. Because we are always sending someone up to cashier. It's basically a whole full-time person that we are losing to go cashier, when they could just have another person. So, another one of my bosses called me to the back, and they were just like, Corey, you're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble. You can't say those things. But I am so done just being nice and going with it. It's a consistent problem, this understaffing. If you're a manager and you speak directly, you are an effective communicator. But if you are just an hourly person and you speak directly, that means you're rude. Even if you use the exact same wording. Some people will say that because you used the exact same wording, that means you're rude. I didn't get in trouble for this, but everyone said I would. The person I sent that email to did come talk to me, but somehow they apologized for their tone. I don't know if they were serious or if they were just trying to start a conversation. It's weird. But somehow we are on good terms. And I did ask them, how high up do we need to go? How high up do I need to go in the chain of command to actually get people scheduled? And they said, pretty high. So, if I need to email the actual CEO, I'm gonna fucking do it because I'm done. I don't know how much more I can do of this. is a very large number. And they think that we won't notice that. Meanwhile, the CEO earns millions of dollars for sitting at his desk and talking to people. Well, this went on for longer than I thought. And this wine, I did not even drink any more of it. I am still disgusted by it, but that's just not good. I decided a long time ago at work, it was after they suspended me for being sick, basically, that I decided I am not ever going to give 100% at this place. I'm going to give a solid 70 to 80%. Because why should I give 100% when the company is going to do the absolute minimum? There's no reason I should stress myself out for them, because they certainly aren't stressed out for me. So, the moral from all this, I'm still there. Don't be afraid to do some things for you. Don't try too hard. Don't try too hard. I really should do a series of tales from retail. You know, this place is so bad.